Welcome back. This is Kenneth Fletcher, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the current controversy that's going on in the YouTube world, um, and also try to give some solution or some solutions and advice to how to get past it or work through the issue. Now, at the time of this video, if you don't know, um, apparently YouTube is, I believe, is cracking down on YouTubers or YouTube videos that violate their terms of service. Basically, in a nutshell, if there's a YouTube video, or if you have YouTube videos where that, from my understanding, that have a lot of explicit content, violence, political things, they're going to, if you're not going to, you won't be able to monetize those videos, or they're going to be demonetized. And what that basically means, if you don't already know, you won't be able to make money. Now, me, I'm personally in a weird position because I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. The vision that I have for my channel, or my mission, is to provide videos that relate to the creative industry, how to use software and whatnot. And some videos I do plan to monetize, but I'm not necessarily going to make this a place that I make the majority of my income. Now, that could, in the future, if I had, let's say, if in the future I have a 500,000, a million, 3 million followers or subscribers, and I could be making a few thousand, 4,000, 5,000 a month. That may change, but if you're in that position, or for those individuals that are in that position, I just want to provide, or give my opinions and my advice. Now, this is not going to be very popular. I don't have that at the time of this video. I don't have that many subscribers. Those that are following or subscribing, thank you. I appreciate that. If you haven't already, just hit the subscribe button, and leave your opinions, your comments. Be constructive criticism. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a popular opinion, but let me just say off the bat, I don't necessarily agree with YouTube. I don't necessarily agree or disagree with YouTube's policies, but it is their company. It is, Google owns it, or Alphabet. It's their company. It's YouTube. This is YouTube's platform. If YouTube does not want certain things on their platform, which, to be honest, it's kind of, to be honest, if you're a content creator, or if you plan to make content that has explicit materials, language, sexual themes, violence, political types of things, just be, you should be, well, you should have already been aware of this YouTube's terms of service and their policies. Before you can sign up, like most companies or most products that you use or services, they give you a terms of service. These YouTubers should already have known about these policies and terms of services, so they were already violating their contract. Again, I'm not saying I necessarily agree with their opinions, or YouTube's policies or terms of services. I guess I do, because I agree. I'm on YouTube, so. But this is their platform. It's their company. They can do whatever they want. Google or Alphabet, whatever they want to call themselves. Alphabet owns numerous brands. Now, if you look at their brands or their services as houses, or even, let's say, land or parks or something like that. Over the past number of years, let's say YouTube was a land, or YouTube is a park or a house. YouTube has let anybody or numerous things go on their land or park, and hasn't necessarily gone after. Over the past few years, things have changed, but it's been, for the most part, a free range. Now they have decided, let's say they have a big parking lot, a big park or whatever, and they decided that, you know what, we have a bunch of sports fans and they're getting wild and crazy, so we're going to, I don't necessarily want to use the word banned, but we're going to stop, tailgaters. We're not going to admit or allow, we're not going to issue passes to, individuals that, or organize, or events that deal with sports, because we don't want to deal with tailgaters, or I believe that's what they're called. We don't want to deal with, these sports fans. And they put the policy out a year ago or some time ago, but they didn't enforce it. Now they're starting to enforce this policy. No sports events. And the sports fans, or the people that have, the individuals that have been utilizing the park, the YouTube park, for free, now they're not allowed to do so. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if that's a very good analogy or example or metaphor. But it's their land. It's their property. They can do whatever they want. And I kind of support that. I'm actually having some YouTube problems of my own. It's totally different. I believe it's like an issue with the AdSense, my AdSense account. So, but I understand dealing with YouTube and having issues. But you need to understand, or these individuals, you need to understand that this is their property, this is their company, and this is their service. If you don't like their service, if you don't like their terms, if you don't like their policies, you don't have to join. You don't have to utilize their services, and you don't have to visit their site. It's that simple. You can also, at least, if you're in America or a first world country, you have the freedom to start your own YouTube or streaming service. Of course, that's going to take a lot of time, effort, and hard work, but you can, for the most part, I know that there's, third world countries or areas where there's tons of poverty, but there are enough people, in the first world, I guess, countries, but there are people that have the ability, that have the know-how, they have the business, they can hook up, they can connect with IT professionals, programmers, designers, and build and do what the original founders of YouTube did. And that was 2007 or 2006 when YouTube came out. That was a long time ago. And there's way more advanced technology now, and certain things are cheaper. But it's their company. They have the right. I'm not saying I agree with it, but they have a right to enforce whatever policies they want. It's their land. Now, as far as solutions, I'm doing this myself. I'm trying to build my YouTube brand or my YouTube channel. My creative and digital digital artist and software tutorial channel myself. This is I'm going to try to give a few. I'm going to try to give you guys some advice or my opinions on what you can do to help yourself or to avoid this situation. Now, you don't want to build your foundation on YouTube ads or YouTube monetization. Let me put it this way, and maybe let me back up. For most of us, there's a lot of YouTube channels that have, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that I watch that have a lot of profanity and whatnot. For most of us that work, I would say 99% of us, we work in a standard or everyday business or corporation. If you go into work and you use the language or not even language, if you talk about politics, as I'm part of an organization right now where it is against the rules to talk about politics. And I don't want to necessarily say that I was talking about politics, but I brought up a certain politician that is running for office at the time of this video, and I really wasn't trying to get into politics. I was just mentioning something that surrounded this individual, and then it kind of, not me, the person I was talking to, they sort of went into the political direction lightly, and our supervisor warned us, say, let's not talk about politics and stuff like that. If, like most of us, 99% of us, 99.99% of us that do not make our living off YouTube, if we went into work and started using tons of profanity and started talking about sexually explicit content and stuff like that, and I've worked at places where, sometimes that is not out in the open, but there's jokes and whatnot. But in most businesses, in most companies, if you use the same words and spoke about and gave your opinions on the way these YouTubers, or a lot of YouTubers do, or in the way they do, you would be fired, or you would be let go. If you would be let go. And my point is, these YouTubers that are making a living or a significant portion of their income on YouTube, that is their job. If I did that at my job, if you do that at your job, then if I did that at my job, I would get fired, or I would at least be sanctioned or spoken to by the human resources. So from another point of view, if these YouTubers used used a certain amount of decency that was common in the workplace, then they wouldn't have an issue. Now, I know some of you are saying, I've seen some videos about, oh, this YouTuber was talking about suicide. This YouTuber was talking about suicide, and that was banned, or their video was demonetized. They were trying to help. They were giving their opinions. They were trying to help about suicide. Well, again, me, my opinion, why are you trying to make money off the subject of suicide? I understand there are some YouTube channels that, especially, well, never mind. I understand some YouTube channels, uh, they delve into that a little bit, but if it's that important, why are you trying to make money off of it? Again, that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, moving on. Political stuff. Again, if you did this at a normal job, you would get spoken to, or there would be an issue. So, as far as my advice on what to do if I'm trying to build a YouTube channel, don't build your foundation on YouTube, or don't set your livelihood on something that you can't control. Abide by the rules. You should know the rules because you signed or you agreed to their terms of service. Abide by their rules, and there's plenty of different ways, or there's different ways of making money on YouTube. I would not rely heavily if you're going to be publishing explicit content, or content that is sensitive, that is YouTube sensitive. You should not build your foundation or rely on the revenue directly from YouTube. You should not. So as a creative, I don't think my channel or my subscribers or followers or viewers are going in this direction. This is not, a gaming channel, or this is not a YouTube channel that discusses a lot of opinions or what's going on in the world. So that's one thing. If you're in the creative field and you want to build your own YouTube channel, we're in a good spot because we're doing, and YouTubers like me, I'm doing videos about modeling things in 3D Studio Max. There's no controversy there. Rendering tutorials, drawing tutorials. Now, on the digital creative side, I subscribe to some YouTube channels that have nudity, and that's because there's gesture drawing, or what do you call it, life drawing, I can't remember what it's called, where you draw, there's a nude model, and there's actually a really good YouTube channel where there's like a nude model and they're like rotating, they're on a rotating platform, they're totally nude, and you can use it to draw. That's actually a really good YouTube channel. Channels like that, as a creative, channels in the creative industry or side of YouTube, you just have to be careful. You have to be very careful. I know there's a lot of illustrators or illustrations, digital illustrators that draw women or people in scantily clad outfits, and their chest is exposed and whatnot. If you're going to do that, just be aware that your channel, you may not be able to monetize on it. Just if you want to monetize it, if you want to set the monetization, fine, but do not rely on that. Just do not. We're entering like an age, at least of YouTube, where you have to do more than just press a button, spout off a lot of profanity, foul language, and just give your opinions. Press record, stop, and upload. Which I'm kind of well, not the profanity thing, but I'm trying to figure out how to cut down the editing time of these videos. But we're entering an age where you have to do a little bit more than that. You have to think about what you're projecting, what you're saying, how you're saying, and if what you're saying follows the rules. These channels that are getting their videos demonetized, they were not following the rules. They either A, did not take the time to read the rules and the terms of services, or they just didn't care. They didn't care to read. They were too lazy to read. They didn't care to read, or they did read it. They were aware of. They were aware that they were violating their terms of service, but they didn't care. And now the rooster has come home to, what is it called? Roost? What was the phrase? The rooster has come home to roost. So I wanted to do this video to mostly to talk about this situation from a YouTube digital artist or designer, a creative perspective. So again, my advice: don't build your foundation or your income directly from YouTube. If your content is falls within their if your content doesn't fall within their safe space, just don't. Again, there's creative YouTube channels that are borderline, like for example, you're drawing scantily clad women or men. You just have to be aware of that, and present yourself or present your YouTube channel in a way that's professional. As far as AdSense or YouTube revenue, if you would like to make money off your YouTube videos, do sponsorships, and get paid advertisers, sponsors. Yes, get sponsors. That way you're not getting your income or your revenue from YouTube, and you can get that sort of kind of upfront, and you have a little more control. Also, there's Patreon, but that Patreon, which I set up my own Patreon account some time ago, but it's my brand still is it's still developing and still growing. An alternative to that is there's a motorcycle. An alternative to that is Patreon, which in the future will probably kind of sort of go through the same thing YouTube is going through right now, but demonetize all your videos and earn your revenue from your subscribers indirectly or directly through Patreon. That way you can bypass all of the these YouTube terms of service and or the YouTube safe space. That way you don't have to deal with that. Now in the future, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a prediction that Patreon is going to be doing the same thing at some point. Oh, you can't be making videos, or you can't have Patreon accounts that deal with religious themes or sexually explicit things, political parties, or whatever. It may turn into that, but go through different third or fourth party, whatever you want to call it, second, third, fourth party types of revenue. Do sponsorships. So there's Patreon. Do sponsorships. Create your own digital products and sell them, or physical products. Create your own products. Like for me, I'm trying to. I've been recording a lot of YouTube videos or videos, not YouTube videos, but videos that I can sell online to my subscribers, you guys that are interested in those types of products. That way I have a lot more control. So again, sponsorships, websites like Patreon, crowdsourcing, I guess you can call it, crowdsourcing platforms like Patreon, building your own, selling your own, developing and selling your own products. That way you can bypass all of YouTube's where it quirks from a creative standpoint. You just have to be aware. Most of us, not all of us, most of us are adults, and even if you're not, if you're old enough to be making YouTube videos about recording Maya YouTube videos, creating Maya tutorials or something like that, and you're like 14 or 15, I mean, you're pretty advanced. You should be able to understand this. I think that's it. Just to summarize, this is YouTube's platform. They can do whatever they want. I'm personally, I'm not saying I agree with their terms of service. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying it's their company, and you should not be surprised. If you don't like it, go to another service. You may say, well, YouTube is the biggest, biggest streaming site. True, I understand, but the reason why YouTube is the biggest streaming site is because everybody's going to YouTube. If you plan on, or if you already have a YouTube channel with a substantial amount of followers or subscribers, let's say you have 50,000 subscribers or followers, you can always bring those over. You can start your own little website post your videos there, and get the revenue yourself. If you have 50,000 subscribers, if you have 100,000 subscribers, if you have 500,000 subscribers, if you have a ton of subscribers, you should be able to you should be getting some income where you should take some of that income that you're getting and develop your own website so you can stabilize your own platform. Develop your own platform. Like CG Cookie or Blender Guru. Develop your own platform. And as far as solutions, sponsorships, companies, third-party companies like Patreon, and sell your own digital products or sell your own services. Just to make sure that you're safe. Don't build your foundation on YouTube. Don't build your foundation on a weak platform. That's basically what I'm saying. And be aware of the content that you're producing or you're publishing. Again, in the digital creative industry, YouTube side of things, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. If you're doing, you, if you're doing some nudity and stuff like that, or scantily clad dressed people, sexually explicit material, then yes. But in all, just be aware and be smart. Think smart. I think that's it. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe or follow this YouTube channel, and leave your thoughts and opinions. Please be gentle. I know this is a very hot topic. I just thought I would leave my opinions and give some advice on to help you guys. So you guys take care.